Hello and welcome to Warblock. This is a rough developmental video because I'm sort of gonna go. Anyway, so what I'm looking at here is morale. This game here. So I'm just going to jump in and play. Now basically what we're looking for is morale losses. And this is going to take a while really, so I'm just going to sort of just jump straight into it all really and move units around. To be quite honest, I don't really need to sort of worry about strategy too much, so what I'm doing, I'm replicating the sort of general advance of all these units in this direction without making too many. I don't know how that happens. It's a browser issue, but you can't move because he's moved. It's not ideal that I have to do this actually. I'm not going to move them again, so that's not a problem. Okay, that'll do. So we've sort of moved them and pretending we're advancing there, so we'll end that turn. I'm not going to do any attacks, basically waiting for the air power to come in. They're not going to do anything because I can't be bothered. Saudi turn, they also get to dig in a bit. Okay, now we've got some air power. So what we're going to do, we're going to attack this stack here. Okay, so we've now got that up to depression 0.1. This one's at depression 1. We'll try a few more rounds. We shouldn't be expecting anything. Basically, morale kicks in at over 5 depression, but there are modifiers on that, and so there's no reason why anything should be checking for morale because they have not received enough damage. The only thing I am going to do now on the Iraqi turn, I'm going to move them because I don't want them being dug in because it's just going to make things just a little bit more complicated. It's quite simple really. When they get dug in, they get +1 on their morale. So instead of looking for 5s, we're looking for 6s. And those morale factors will change over time, but at the moment I'm not really. For example, I will be doing leadership, and there will be changes if they're in a town or something like that, possibly terrain, because I see morale being fairly significant because you can use it to affect things. But anyway, so we're coming in for another attack. So these units have been hit before in there, so we're going to attack them again because we don't really care about anything other than just watching the morale have effect. Okay, well that was a called effect. So the morale now for this is 5. So he would have had a 2.5% chance of failing. He would have had a 10%, 10.5%. So we're on the way, and as such, I'm going to use the artillery here. Okay, so that's pushing them up 5.25, 8.25. So they'll recover when during their turn here. But now we've got a lot more air power, so let's see where we can get some routes. Okay, there we go. So this unit here, unit 20, maybe change the mouse over on that, failed. So if we click the back button here, we should see that basically that was unit 12, that's unit 20. So he was at 9.55 depression, and basically he routed. Because they all look the same, it's quite hard to tell which one it was, but we can identify it. But what we'll see is that, and we don't, presumably it's the middle one, but now he didn't actually get any damage, but he was in a, he was under the fire, and this was artillery only. This is an airstrike only, so they had to do a morale check because they were under an airstrike, yeah, something like that, and basically failed. So that's the first thing. So it's kind of it's pretty much more of the same, but before, in order to destroy units, you actually had to get a defender eliminated roll, and that was quite unrealistic in a lot of senses. And then we got rid of another one, so he's on 5, but he's only on 5, so he's going to take a while. So what we might want to do is now start focusing on another stack, because instead of just, because we can get 5 at a time. For example, this stack looks fairly effective, fairly hefty. So let's see what we got over here. Any depressions? No. Some of these should have some depressions somewhere, because I thought we fired on a stack that then sort of got split up a bit. Okay, well, we'll go for that stack because it's got 5 in it. There's a possibility we can. Okay. Yeah, we can hit all 5, so we now put him up to 1. We've got our last piece of air power. Okay. So that was quite a nice round, knocking out to 2.2. So now they've all gone up 1 morale factor because they're now all dug in, but we'll just have to live with that for the time being. So we need to get them up to 6 before they start taking morale checks, which at this rate is not going to happen too quickly. 1.8, so he's 4.8 now. Now, one thing that's maybe worth bearing in mind is that using airstrikes alone might not necessarily be what you're looking to achieve. I mean, you might not be looking to sort of get morale losses just on that, but so for example, you could say, well, that's 7.1, that's 4.7, 2.4, 2, 0. That's good enough, you might say, because then what you could then do is try the the ground fire, etc. So for example, this artillery, we've got 3 lots of artillery now on the board, so we'll start firing with some of that. So 1.3. So now the artillery is coming into play, which is a different form. So he should be routing. We should be expecting him to rout. Okay, so end the turn. He's either been very lucky or it's not working. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to fire some more artillery in there, see whether I can get this guy to rout. I'll try one more. Pause. What's that? Right. Yeah. And multiple screens open. I'm not sure what's going on, so I'm just going to try another one. I mean, he's either doing really well. Oh, right. Oh, I know what's happened. 1 minute. He's lost something. Yep. 1 minute. Yeah. In that one, he died, but the thing wasn't being flagged up. So if we go back, we should see that there are 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one was at 13.2. And what we'll notice is that 13.2 guy is not there anymore because he failed his morale. So that's working. And yeah, so let's carry on. We've got a couple of minutes left. So let's see what sort of damage I can do with the rest of the aircraft. Okay, so we've got rid of another one. We know that the thing works for the aircraft anyway. Now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go back to the game, and then I'm going to start attacking this other stack over here, because we've already weakened that stack. So, and I want to sort of do some artillery on that. So I'm going to maintain my air power on that. Try and do it quickly, because I've only got a minute and a half left, and I really just want to focus on seeing what happens with the artillery. So end turn, end that turn. Right, so let's fire some artillery into here. So he's at 8.3, 2.3, 0.6. So we don't really stand a lot of chance, but we're really aiming for a morale check against that. And he failed. So, and the thing with that is it was artillery as opposed to air power, because these different screens. So, but basically we can now start fairly effectively using morale as part of the strategy in the play of the game. And in particular, I won't do any more sort of checks. This game is all about decimating these units with the air power, and you see there's quite a lot of it. And before, I mean, really, you could decimate it, but they'd still be there. But you can now actually decimate these units, and they will be removed from the map once they start failing morale. So, that brings this scenario to life in its own proper state, because that's pretty much what happened. A lot of the units sort of just, I wouldn't say they routed, but I mean, basically they lost a lot. So that's that. Okay, I'll speak to you later. Cheers, mate.